Remember this? We learned this in the previous lesson, right?
Yeah, kind of.
And tell me something. Do you usually forget objects or things when you go to a different place, or you always remember?
I always remember.
And well, I mean, have you ever been in a situation you forgot somebody's name?
Um, yep.
And what do you do? I mean, you go to a club and then you see a person, and this person you say, "Oh Jesus, I forget," or "I forgot his or her name." So, and then you approach this person, and what do you do? What do you say?
So basically, this thing happens to me all the time, even if it's just an exchange or a new people
Uh-huh.
that I am meeting. I always forgot the name.
You always forget. Ah, well, in that situation, you always forget the names. But
Yep.
what do you say? What do you say if you forget the name? Says it, "Hi, man. Can you repeat your name? Can you? What's your name? What do you say?
No, I just try to figure out which one it's his name
Is
or
the
her
name?
name. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have another question for you. Do you usually go to the supermarket? If so, when?
No as often as I want to, but I rarely time go on Sundays.
You rarely go out on Sundays. Why on Sundays? I mean, you don't have enough time on on the weekdays that you just go on the weekends.
Yeah, that's correct. That's why I just only go on weekend.
You only goes on the weekends. Okay. Do you usually have coupons or you just maybe pay the regular price?
I pay all by a regular price by myself.
Okay. And when you go in the supermarket, do you use a card or you use a basket?
Well, I always use I always use a trolley, you know.
Okay. And
So,
why? You feel more comfortable when you are walking in the aisles, or what
um,
is the real reason?
unfortunately, here in the U.S., there is no other options. You have
Oh, jeez.
to get in with a trolley. You don't
Not the
have like
trolley.
a car. How can I say that thing that you hand that you grab and put things on it?
Mm-hmm. Maybe they are in
Canasta?
local markets, right?
Canasta? How can I say it? Canasta?
Mm, they're not like yeah, they are like canastas, but with rolling. They're rolling baskets.
Yeah. So
Okay.
here we don't have that.
Well, you don't have that, right? Well,
Nope.
so you have the car, right? I prefer to say car because the trolley for me is when I go to the airport, and you have a really trolley there.
Okay.
Okay. And what kind of products do you usually buy?
That's a good question. I usually buy meat, a jam, maybe cheese, yogurt. Uh,
No, okay. You buy like grocery products, right?
yes, that's correct.
Okay. And do you take, I mean, are you aware of the labels?
What do you mean, like the calories?
No,
This.
I mean, yes, like 50% protein or 3 grams, things like that, the calories or the ingredients that you are um, having.
Yes, every time I check
Okay, okay, okay. You take into account the labels. We say the labels.
the
So, do
labels
you read the labels after buying the products, or do you
before.
read the label before buying the products?
Always before. It's more
Always
easy.
before you buy the products. What about dairy products? Are you a huge fan of dairy products?
What do you say about what?
Dairy products, dairy products,
Dairy products. I've never heard that word before.
dairy.
they
I will write it for you.
like dairy? No.
You see it?
Dairy? No.
Yeah, but we said dairy.
Oh, dairy? No.
Dairy
No.
products can be yogurt, cheese, milk, productos lácteos.
Okay.
Dairy products, dairy products, dairy products. And what about the cashiers in the place where you live? Are cashiers friendly, or sometimes they are like not easygoing?
Are we talking about the friends?
No, 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 my cashier.
Okay, sure. I
Yes. How are the cashiers in your country or in the place where you live?
mean, it's pretty different. You have like three options. You can pay by yourself, you can
Mm-hmm.
pay by a computer or by your cell phone, or rather, you can pay on. with a cashier.
So
Um,
which one do you choose?
Automatically, like the food.
Okay, you go directly to the checkout, okay?
Yeah,
The automatic checkout. Yes, you scan the product and then you pay, right?
yes, that's right.
Okay, okay. And what is it? Which one do you prefer? Sometimes do you prefer to go to the supermarket rather than the local market?
There is no local market here.
No local markets. When I say
Mm,
local markets, I mean, vegan people, they have a stall. You know a stall like this? Stall?
no.
A stall, how can I explain this? A stall, like, for example, they have these vegan places.
Hmm.
I will show you some pictures, and then you see the things I'm saying. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Google, Google, Google,
Stall.
Google. This is Google.
Hey,
So, stall
I
local
remember
market.
something. If you can teach me today, the use of this kind of word. Wait, wait.
This is a stall. What kind of words? Do you want me to teach you words?
No, no, no. Like how to pronounce this word, like EW words.
EW. What do you mean when you say EW?
For example, how can you say this word? Like yearly, yearly.
Ah, this one.
Yeah.
We pronounce jewelry, 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 jewelry. We pronounce it this way.
Mm.
Jewelry, jewelry. Okay, today you want to talk about pronunciation, right?
No, no,
Yeah.
that's fine. We can keep going with the topic we've been talking
Yeah, yeah, then I can teach you pronunciation. There isn't a problem for me. There is no harm in practicing pronunciation. Sometimes pronunciation can make us feel more confident. What about the pace I'm using? How do you feel? You feel more comfortable? Sure.
about.
Or
Yes.
sometimes you find it difficult to understand? Sometimes you find it difficult to understand?
To understand you.
Yeah. No,
I
right?
mean, I mean, no. I just it's really funny, and this is gonna be awkward, but I'm not really paying attention to you.
You are not
I'm
paying attention to the audio.
yeah, that's right.
Why? How do you understand what I'm saying?
I just don't know. I mean, that's why I say you. I told you, like, could you repeat me one more time or something like that, just to clarify my ideas in my mind.
Okay. Okay, well, I know that probably this is a stall in South America, but there are different stalls in different countries. Something like this. For me, this is a stall, okay, in a market. You see?
Yeah.
It's cleaner than the stall in South America. And it's
Mm,
like, it's very, how do you say quaint? Have you heard this word quaint?
quaint,
I'm sorry. Quaint. When you say that something is quaint, a quaint stall.
like old.
No, it means like it's really difficult to describe in Spanish because we don't have that word, but quaint means that you like it or that you like something, but many people would say that this place is horrible, but it is not. It isn't. Quaint, belleza rara. Quaint, que es feo pero bonito al mismo tiempo. You see?
Okay.
For me, they are kind of stalls in a place. You see, in Cape Town, for example. Well, like you're saying that there are no stalls in the place where you live, right? Where are you living, or where do you live right now?
The state is called Maryland. Maryland.
Okay, Maryland, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, okay. So you just go to the supermarket, right?
Yes, that's right.
You go on the weekends. Do you
I mean,
prefer to go? Maybe do you prefer to use a cart or trolley? You read the label before buying the product. No, that's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. Have you ever been in a situation and you didn't know what to do, or you felt that I'm gonna show you some pictures. Wait a minute. Okay, let's start. You need to ask some questions. Okay. So, for example, you don't know where the milk is or the cheese. What would you say?
Ah, isn't the it's in the dairies area?
Now, dairy section.
Yes.
Okay, but ¿dónde encuentro la leche y el queso? How do you say that in English? Sometimes you might, maybe you want to buy a yogurt or things like that. So, what would you say?
Where you can find milk and the cheese.
Okay, so you can say, where is the dairy section? Where is the dairy section? And let me show you something. I just realized that people sometimes they don't know the difference between these two words. What about you? How do you difference this word?
Well, it depends of the context.
Well, let me tell you that there are totally different. There are. ¿Qué significa there are?
Ellos son,
Tell me.
ellos son muy
Yeah,
diferentes.
but I made a mistake because I said there are. So I suppose there, no more. You see?
Okay.
They're different. For example, the first one, that last question is like in Spanish. For example, where, where, like the in the Spanish. But the second one is different because you don't open 100% your mouth, just like maybe 35%. Say, where, 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 where. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where, where. La lengua doblala. Where. So, ¿dónde estabas tú? Where were you? Where were you? You see?
Yes.
So you say, where is the dairy section? Well, because they were in the mid section or the produce section. What about the produce? Do you usually buy in the produce section?
Product section? What do you mean? Like,
Section produce section, the produce section. No.
so sorry, but I don't know what is it produce
Well, the produce section you can buy maybe fruit or products from the field. Oh Jesus Christ, what is this? Can you see the screen? Sure.
Yeah, okay.
These are for me the produce section. You see, this is the produce section. Remember that when you go to the supermarket, there are different sections. I remember when I was working in a supermarket in the U.S. I used to be a clerk, so I used to help people maybe finding some products. Where is it? It is in the dairy section. Where is it? It is in the produce section. Where is it? It is in the frozen section. Where is it? It is in the. You see what I'm saying, right? So this is the produce section. You buy you buy in the produce section, or how do you do it?
What do I do?
Yeah,
Mm,
because for example, here in my country, now when I go to the supermarket, it means that I will buy maybe grocery product. But if I had to, or if I needed to buy maybe uh, fruit, vegetables, or I don't know how to say edible products, edible. I usually go to the local market, so I buy my products there. But you mentioned that you don't have, or in the place where you live, there are not maybe local markets. So you always buy all the products that you need in the supermarket. Is that correct?
yeah, totally. Is that correct?
Yeah, but my question is, do you buy in the product section?
Oh, yes, 100% all the time.
Yeah.
So what?
Okay, because
It's
tell
really
me.
you. There's something that I really want to say to you. I believe we have like a kind of organic, organic market, but unfortunately, it's too expensive. It's really
It is. It is expensive. I,
so
I
that's
I
why
agree.
we try to avoid it. You know,
Ah, but do you consume organic products?
I mean, all the products from here are
Organic.
genetically modified, so I don't know.
Yeah. There's a Transact products, I guess. Let me check it.
Transact.
Transact. They have a. Or trans products. I wish, I wish it isn't here. Trans products. That's not the real name. I guess trans fat product. That could be the word. Yeah, I would say trans products. If I say the word trans, you will see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking.
Homosexual.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
Yeah, you
the
see, they
first.
would be homosexual product, but it would say trans fat. That would be different. You see?
Okay.
So this is what this that's why I didn't want to write the word, but trans fat products. So when you say transgénicos, have you heard that word before?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, so we say trans products. So people prefer to buy different products. They don't like this. Fats, healthy or unhealthy. So this is why it is really important that you read the labels. And you mentioned that you do it.
Yeah,
You
all
do
the
it. You
time.
do it. You do it. It is really important. And I guess in countries like that, the regulations, the government implement measures to the government implemented measures to, how do you say, to prevent people from buying these products, to avoid people buying this product, or to stop people buying this products?
To prevent, whether
To prevent,
prevent or stop,
to prevent
but
or stop. Which one is more
it's more
common?
prevent. It's more like prevent.
Yeah, prevent. That I totally agree. So you say that you avoid eating or buying trans fat or trans
Ye-
products.
Yes,
Okay. So maybe are you on a diet?
yes, of course. I'm on a diet. I do exercises. All
And you also exercise, right?
yes, I work out.
Do you exercise? You work out. You work out, right? And what about your routine? How often do you work out? Every day?
No, no, it's just like 4 or maybe 5 days per week. It depends on my time.
It depends on your time. It depends on your schedule, right? And what
Yes.
kind of exercises do you do? Do you mean Pilates, maybe pull-ups, calisthenics? What kind of things do you
It's
do?
it's a combination between gym and calisthenic in my house. I don't have enough uh like mech. How can I say maquinaria? Ma,
You say machinery. You see, like this.
Imaginary?
This word. You see?
No,
Wait a
but
second.
like
Gym.
gym machinery.
Yeah, this one, right? Did you
Yes.
buy a product like this? How much is it?
Now it's really too expensive.
Roughly, roughly speaking. Roughly speaking, you see, I'm sorry, Google doesn't help me a lot. Roughly speaking, meaning, roughly. I hate sometimes Google because we can find the dictionary, we can find the meaning of a word. Okay, let's read it. I'm sorry, it was my fault. Roughly, not being totally accurate use as a phrase to specify. You see? Roughly speaking. Es como decir aproximadamente, más o menos. How
Okay.
much is it? $100, $200?
No, it's more, even more. Like 5 grams, maybe 7.
Yes, machinery. This is a word, machinery. Yeah, but you work out every day, and do you watch videos about that, or you just create your own routine? How do you deal with that part?
I created my own routine a long time ago, so this is just temporarily until the winter goes up.
Okay, I remember that there was like a trend, the winter arc. Have you heard about the winter arc?
Yes, I did. I did.
Yeah, are you part of the winter arc?
Right now, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you train like every day, right?
Yep.
Five times five times a week, right? 5 days a week.
4, maybe 5. You know, I mean,
Okay, 5 or 6. And how many hours?
like just 1 and 10 minutes.
1
I mean,
hour and 10 minutes.
yeah, I mean, you don't need it. You don't need more.
You don't need more, right? So it means that you cut down on some products, right? What kind of products do you cut down on?
Oh, I'm cutting down. Like, that's a good question. Like trans fat food,
Uh-huh.
but also
Sugary products,
but
su-
also carbohydrate. How can I say carbohydrates? Carbohydrate?
carbohydrates.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Carbo-
Carbohydrates. But in the US, people say carbs.
yeah,
They
carbs.
always say carbohydrates.
Okay.
Okay, so you cut down the amount of carbohydrates you consume, right?
Yes, that's right.
So, 1 second.
Sure, sure, sure.
And how do you feel? I mean, do you feel that or how long have you been training? Because this is a long process. How long have you been training?
Yeah, I've been training like 3 months ago.
No, that's incorrect. I've been training 3 months ago. That's not correct.
No, I say I training.
I started in the past. I started the train, or
Yes.
I have been training for 3 years. I have been training for 4 years, or I started training for 4 years. You see?
Okay.
So what's your answer?
I've been training for 3 years.
And in the past,
In the past, I started to train 3 years ago.
amazing, amazing. So you see the difference. So we use grammar in order to make our sentence maybe, how do you say, to connect the ideas. Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Okay, so for example, and what about clothes? Where do you buy clothes? Do you go to thrift shops?
I usually go to an outlet from my city,
Okay, and what about thrift shops?
like the free shops. Oh, through. Oh, jeez.
You know, Macklemore, if there is a song thrift shop, this is a thrift shop.
Okay, okay. Yeah, sure, I do. I do all the time.
You go all the time there, right?
I mean, just to buy clothes to be at home, but all the clothes that I want to, for example, go to an event,
Uh-huh.
or maybe a
Wait,
wedding, I go to another side,
what kind of stores do you go,
like
or
another
are they famous stores in your city?
like famous store. I don't know, like Gucci, Nike, Louis Vuitton, all that you can imagine is here.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I mean, but which one do you go?
always wanted to go. My favorite store is Sumi's.
Okay, I use this expression there without a shadow of a doubt. Do you remember?
Without a shadow. No.
With Jesus. I don't know how to write. Okay, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. I like that expression. Let me Google it here. Juglish. I'm sorry. This is the. Wait a second. Here. Hey, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, my camera is off. This one.
in Asia.
This one. This one.
At a little under 785,000 square kilometres, or around 300,000 square miles, it's the 36th largest country in the world. Its population stands
Now look at this.
Are proving without a shadow of a doubt that hell exists. Read the book by Bill Wise if you don't believe in hell, or even if you do, it's an awesome book. And obviously, most recently, everybody's probably familiar with the book Heaven is for Real, where a 3-year-old, and I believe he's 3, don't quote me, but I read the book, and he dies and he goes to heaven and he recounts his grandfather. He recounts being
Silent,
with
please.
Jesus from a
Now let's look for
are
another example.
proving without a
Look at this.
without a shadow of a doubt. And I would also offer a critique to this framework that others would, I think, probably agree with, that there is no full binary opposition between respectability, politics, and personal sexual freedom, and maybe these extremes.
Where, without a shadow of a doubt, obvious partners for us in this work.
Without a shadow of a
which-
doubt. Es como decir que sin
with
duda
this woman.
alguna.
And I guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, that I was showing the 7 signs on
Guarantee without a shadow
I
of a
am a
doubt.
serial procrastinator, without a shadow of a doubt.
Why do you think you procrastinate?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. So did you understand the expression?
So, like, sin duda alguna.
Sin duda alguna. Claro, I think so. Sin duda alguna. Estoy recontra seguro que. O si no cabe ninguna duda, también podría ser.
Okay.
Okay, so without a shadow of a doubt, which one is your favorite story? You like zooming, right?
Yes, Sumis.
And what kind of products do they sell?
Like t-shirts. It's like a skater. No, it's not a skater clothes, but it's kinda, you can find all the clothes you want.
Okay,
Uh,
can you spell it?
uh, ZUMIEZ.
Z. This one. I
No,
mean,
no, 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 no. It's ZU.
see you. This
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that's one. That one. Yeah.
Sumis. Ah, yeah. Okay. Okay, so there's another one which is pretty famous. There is a bunny dad, I guess. Have you heard about that?
Like no, I don't really like it. That story. It's
And well, this brand is pretty famous, Bad Bunny, or I mean, it doesn't have to do with Bad Bunny, but this is a new brand. I remember the Gucci Gang or Kendrick Lamar. They're wearing those piece of clothes. You see?
yeah.
Now, I guess my camera is not working proper. Now, well, I have a different camera right now. No problem. Okay, so well, you buy products here, pieces of clothes in this store, and then you can go to different events, right?
Yes, right.
And how often do you have events? I mean, or like parties or celebrations, meetings, reunions? How often do you attend to these places?
It's a seldom time.
It's once in a blue moon?
Yeah, it's once in a blue moon.
Once in a blue moon. Okay, but don't you have many friends?
I mean, I do, but they are not old enough to do something really important, like a wedding.
Okay, okay. But what about parties? How often do you go to parties? So you prefer not to go to those places?
I mean, I really would like to go there, but unfortunately, uh, I haven't been there in a while. So
I haven't been there in a while. But it's not your cup of play, right? You feel like a fish out of the water?
no,
Or
I don't really. I don't feel like that, but it's just
well,
I
what the
don't have
reason?
enough time to go there.
Okay. Okay. And for example, when your friends threw a party, have you heard that expression? Threw a
Through.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they threw a party and you say, "Hey, do you want to come here tonight?" And then you say, "No." What do they say? You say, "Hey, you're a party pooper," or things like that.
No, you are a chicken.
You are a chicken, a party pooper. Agua fiesta, party pooper. You see?
Okay, party
And
pooper.
what about the doctor? You never mentioned that you have ever been in a hospital or in the clinic. So you never go to the hospital, maybe?
What do you mean if I got sick?
Yeah, I mean, it is not necessary. Maybe you just need to check you maybe for a follow-up appointment or for a check. You see what I'm saying? You just want to talk to the doctor.
Yeah,
No,
actually, yeah, I do that regularly. Um, actually,
regularly.
yeah, actually, I have an appointment for next week.
You have
So,
an appointment for wait. What kind of services are you
but I'm gonna
maybe
use like
requiring?
the first checkout, like body checkout. How can I say that? Physical check body out.
It is a physical test, yeah,
Physical
but that
check.
would be a checkout. Yes, the doctor will test maybe your level of hemoglobin, lab work, processes like that. Lab work, maybe blood test, maybe physical test too. And why do you need those tests?
Just because.
Right, just because, yeah, because normally people usually do it this once a year, right?
Yes. So
Once a
I
year,
always
it
do
is
it at the
okay.
beginning of every year. Most
Every year
often
at the
in
end
the
of every
beginning.
year, or is this free or you have to pay it, or it's part of your
It's part
maybe
of
have
my health insurance.
your health insurance? Yes, and how much do you pay?
I mean, I don't pay anything, but the regular prices is like $300.
$300,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Okay, let's continue. So now what about food? What kind of food do you like to eat?
Uh, I like to eat pancakes, eggs. What else? Like meat.
Okay, so are you good at cooking?
No, definitely no. I'm not. I'm not cook.
For example, do you cook by yourself, or maybe does anyone else cook for you?
Um, ac- That's a good question. So all the time, my mom cook for me.
Your mom cooks for you, right?
My mom cooks for me. Yes,
Okay, okay. She cooks for you. Okay. So I mean, because you live with your family, right? Yes.
totally.
Tell me,
But
what do you say?
totally. But there's times I don't really like. I don't really enjoy the food of my mom, so I prefer to do it by myself. So
You prefer to do it by yourself. And okay, but this never happens, right? I mean, once in a blue moon, right? Oh Jesus, I've got to sneeze.
for example, yes, it's once in a blue moon.
What did I say? Did you hear what I said?
No, what do you say?
I had to sneeze.
Oh,
Sneeze is like, I get it. So,
sneeze.
are you allergic to something?
I'm
Allergic?
allergic to dogs. I'm allergic to dogs.
Can you just repeat to drugs?
No, to dogs.
Dogs. Okay. Really? You don't have any pets?
I do back in my country, but here no.
Okay, so you don't have any pets there. I mean, you mentioned that you live with your family. Is that your host family? Because you have your dog or your pet in a different country. So who is taking care of your pet?
Oh, my grandmother, but
Hi,
also
Granny.
yeah,
Hi,
but
Granny,
also
Granny.
the babysitter. How can I call
Uh-huh.
this? Like empleada?
No, no, no. It depends. It is a person who takes care of your granny.
No, it's a person who clean the house, who do the dishes, who clean the bathrooms and stuff.
That's a good word. We never say. Maybe you can say, well, nowadays in 2025, it would be your employee, but this is not the appropriate word. We say like the housekeeper, or she is a helper. A helper would be the word. For example, nowadays is not appropriate to say employee. We say or worker. You see what I'm saying, or not?
Yeah, yeah. It could be a helper.
A helper, yes. I
Yeah.
remember that word because one day we had the word ayudante de Santa. Have you heard ayudante de Santa? No?
The one who appeared in Los Simpsons.
Yeah, that's true. And I remember that day. I mean, when I saw that episode on TV, I had the same question. How do you say empleada in English? And then my mom explained that to me. I will look for more information about that. The housekeeper, for me, that would be the word. Worker, yes. Dun 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 dun. One second. Okay. She takes care of your dog and she lives with your granny, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, but for me, that is not an empleada. That would be a caretaker because maybe she takes care of your granny too, right? She cooks for her, she
I
helps her, or not.
my grandmother is not old enough to have someone which who can help her, but
She's not old enough.
she just
Okay.
go to clean all the house because my house back in my country is it's like big, it's huge, so
Uh huh.
that's why we have a helper.
You have a helper, yes. It is not clerk too. No, no, I would say a helper, to be honest. Okay. Okay. Oh, that was really interesting. I just realized that you improve your speaking skill. So we can have like a normal conversation. I don't have to maybe think about the words I am supposed to use. And you understood everything, you see?
Yes, I do.
So I will use more advanced words. And now I guess that sometimes it will be difficult for you to understand. Um, I will use the grammar I taught you, right?
Okay.
Let me check it. Let me check it. Let me check it. Let me check it. Okay, so I will teach you. I will teach you. I will teach you. Yes. Okay, now look at this. Sometimes I have a daughter. I have a daughter, and sometimes I have to shout at my daughter because she misbehaves. So maybe that's your mother or your father, your sister shout at you when you do something wrong.
Hmm.
This is not common.
Wait. Did you say shout out, right?
No, shout at.
Like SHOT
SHOT at.
at.
Yes.
No, I never hear that that word for it. I just hear shout out. But
Yes, I would write it. Shout, shout out, and shout to. Shout to. Shout out and shout to. Shout out and shout to.
okay.
Okay, so maybe does someone in your family usually shout at you?
No, anyone. They
Anybody or anyone, right?
anybody.
Is this respectful
Yes,
for you?
no, yes, that's correct. They know that if they try to shout me,
No,
I'm gonna
shout at me.
shout at me, I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get
Yes, you're gonna get mad. Yes, you can say, "I will go. I will go bananas." My uncle Bob used to say that, "Go bananas." Let me show you what it means. Go bananas. Have you heard that expression? I guess it's very old, but my uncle, go bananas. Yeah, that's an old word, I guess. It means like you go crazy, or it drives me
whoa.
crazy. It
Let me
drives
tell you
me
something.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh, like this, drive me crazy. You see? Or it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Wow, man, that drives me crazy, bro. Oh, or it drives me nuts too. Let me Google it. Drives me nuts too. Yeah, it is a word. Drive me nuts. It means my mother drives me crazy. To be annoying, to make someone crazy. You see?
Okay.
They're words I used to use when I was a child. And well, now that I live in a different country, in South America, sometimes I forget words like this or idioms. Um, yeah, but we usually use this expression. I would say that just my uncle used that expression, but it is expression in English because I taught this expression maybe a long time ago. Another expression that we can say, man, you are well. That something is a pain in your neck. Have you heard that expression before?
Which one?
It is a pain in my neck.
Uh, no, but I can assume what does it mean.
Yeah, for example, I am taking care of my little daughter, my daughter, my little cousin, and she's driving me crazy. She's a pain in the neck. You see?
Yeah, I
Oh,
hear that,
here.
but instead of neck, I hear
Like
ass.
you say the ass, right?
Yeah,
Maybe conducting the taxes is a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's common. It's more common. Yeah, this
yeah,
one is more common.
yeah.
Yes, a pain in the ass. Well, I was saying that I remember that when I went to Guns N' Roses concert, I went with my friend and I shouted to my friend because he was really far. Is that correct?
Yes.
Shouted to. You see?
Yep.
What's the difference for you between shout to and shout out?
No.
For example, you are stupid. You are not supposed to do that. I am shouting at you, but I say, hey, come here. I am shouting to my friend. You see?
Kinda.
Again, you are very far. Hello, come here. Hey, Claudio, come here, come here. I'm sorry. I was shouting to Claudio, but he couldn't hear me. I will call you. You see?
Mm-hmm.
But shout out, it means that I am really mad and the way that I speak is very loud
Okay, I got it.
when you are mad. Yes?
Yes.
And that's a good word, a good expression. Then we have, for example, what about instead of? Do you know how to use the word instead of? Or rather than, maybe?
Instead of no.
Instead of, rather than, and as opposed to. As opposed to. I will give you some examples, right? Rather, you know how to use rather? Yes?
Yes.
For example, I prefer to play soccer rather than what? I prefer to play soccer rather than what?
Rather than soccer, than basketball.
Than basketball, or than play basketball, or than play basketball, or to play basketball?
To play basketball.
Incorrect. Remember, when you have the verb prefer to, you use the verb form. So I prefer to play soccer rather than play basketball. You see?
Okay.
Yes, but if you say, I prefer playing soccer rather than playing basketball, you see the difference?
I prefer playing soccer rather than playing basketball.
Yes, in
Okay.
this case, just the structure. Imagine I don't want to use the same verb because you say, Carlos, but it is redundant. No, no, no. I will use a different one. For example, in my free time, I preferred playing video games rather than sleeping. Preferred playing rather than sleeping. ING, ING. Got it?
Okay, got it.
Preferred playing video games rather than sleeping. You see?
Okay.
But when I say I prefer to play video games rather than sleep. Got it?
You got it.
And this happens just with the verb prefer. This happens just with the verb prefer. Because if we have a different verb, for example, I decided to go to Canada. I decided to go to Canada rather than stay here / staying here. Did you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
When you have a different verb, you have two options. If you have the infinitive, you have two options. Any questions?
No.
So when you use rather, it means that you show your preference. You see?
Okay.
Sometimes we use the word rather in a different way. For example, rather than play soccer, we went to the park. You see?
Okay.
Rather than, en lugar de jugar fútbol, nos fuimos al parque. Rather than play soccer, we went to the park. It is accepted or it is valid. It is okay to say, rather than playing soccer, we went to the park, but this is less common. Okay?
Okay.
It's less common, but it exists. This is rather when you want to talk about your preference. Any questions?
No.
So now we have the word instead of. I like the word instead of because it means that one thing replaces another. You see?
Okay.
For example, when I go to the coffee shop, I want to drink coffee, right? But let's go to the coffee shop. Let's go because I want to drink coffee, right? But when we got the coffee shop, I said something like, "Oh Jesus, I don't feel good. I have a stomach ache. I think I have diarrhea. Um, I will have tea instead of coffee." You see?
Okay.
Because I am not showing my preference. I say that I want to replace coffee because I don't want to drink it. You got it?
Yes, I got it.
So, for example, you are here because you want to improve your grammar, right? But in this case, I will teach you pronunciation instead of grammar because today I don't feel good. Because today I don't want to teach you grammar because yesterday I did it. You see?
Okay. I
So
see.
you use instead of when you want to replace something, right?
Okay.
No more. That's it. Any questions?
Is there any other word like I hear something like I suppose?
As opposed to, I explained that in the previous lesson. As opposed to means that you don't want to focus on something. For example, I say how can I do this? Yep, look at this. My classes are about grammar as opposed to writing. You see? My classes are about grammar as opposed to writing. Mis clases son de gramática en lugar de escritura. Pero no simplemente ahí, sino que dices que mis clases son de gramática más que de escrituras, en lugar de la escritura. No sé si me dejo entender. It's when you want to make it clear that you are talking about one particular thing.
Okay.
Look at this. Look at this, Claudio. Look at this part. Normally, when we go to the academy, when we practice English with a teacher, you say, you need to learn grammar, pronunciation, We have 4 skills, right? Speaking, listening, writing, and reading. 4 skills, right?
Okay.
But the Duolingo test evaluates speaking as opposed to listening, writing, and reading. Got it? No lo
Okay.
reemplaza. Dice, el examen de Duolingo evalúa el speaking en lugar de estas 3 habilidades. No me habla de preferencias. No me habla de que lo reemplaza. Me está indicando, quiero dejar en claro que es una sola cosa en particular.
¿Que se
¿Yo sí?
incluyen esas 3?
No. Por ejemplo, las clases pueden ser teóricas y prácticas, ¿cierto?
Ok.
Entonces digo, mis clases son teóricas, no, son prácticas en lugar de teóricas. ¿Voy a enseñar teóricas?
Sí.
Repito, mira, una clase de inglés puede ser teórica o puede ser práctica. Y yo te digo, mira, Claudio, las clases que yo doy son más prácticas que teóricas, son más prácticas en lugar de teóricas. ¿Se entiende?
Ok, ya, ahí se entiende.
¿Voy a enseñar teóricas?
No.
No, porque quiero dejar en claro que yo me enfoco en que sean prácticas.
Ese es
¿Se
el
entiende?
significado del as opposed to.
As opposed to, yes.
Ok, perdón, lo estoy entendiendo diferente. Sí, ya lo entendí.
Ok, a ver, vamos a chequear en la plataforma. Dame un segundo.
Supposed to.
I guess I guess I have a presentation about that.
Yeah, you do.
There was, and there is a test before you forget. Distinguish. But the link is not here. I need to update it. Okay, I will update it. So, 1 second. While I explain. I'm sorry. 1 second. 1 second. This is the code for the platform. Okay, now look at this. Okay, before we practice, because there are some tests here, let's practice shout out. Okay, did you understand shout out?
Yes.
Shout out to use low voice when you are angry. We have shout insults and abuse at somebody. Okay, I know the abuse means abusar, but abuse at somebody is when you speak in a bad way. You know, you speak badly. You treat this person like shit. You see?
Okay, yeah.
Hey, what's going on? There is someone who is screaming. Yes, you know, her mother is abusing on her because she is pregnant. You see?
Okay.
Or I don't know. For example, when Trav was saying something about the deportation, the immigration process, people were shouting insults at him. I get it.
Yeah, I got it.
Shouted insults. And shout insults, aparte de insultar, significa que le hablan, o sea, lo tratan mal. O sea, ya viene incluido que le tratan mal. Okay? Shout to someone, and that's it. And then we have, okay, here we have it, rather than. Rather than. Show preference, rather than. Infinitive. Okay, look at this. Cuando tú me tienes el prefer con ing, ¿ok? El otro verbo va a estar con ing, ¿cierto?
Okay.
No me importa el verbo que sea. Si está con ing al inicio, después del rather than va a estar con ing. Pero ¿qué es lo que pasa? Si está con infinitivo, vas a tener 2 versiones. Hasta ahí, ¿estamos de acuerdo?
Okay.
Pero el prefer dice, uy, ¿sabes qué? Yo soy más fuerte que el rather than. Si tú me usas un prefer con el tú, utilízame la versión cortita nada más. O sea, sin nada, el simple. ¿Me dejé entender?
No.
Mira, ok, si tú vas a trabajar con el rather than y vas a poner un verbo con ing al inicio, siempre ponlo el después del rather than, el otro verbo con ing. ¿Hasta ahí vamos bien? ¿Sí?
Sí. Sí.
Si tú tienes el rather than y el inicio está el infinitivo, después del rather than vas a tener 2 opciones. ¿Hasta ahí estamos de acuerdo?
Sí.
Pero si el verbo que se encuentra en infinitivo es el verbo prefer, siempre escoge la versión normalita. Solamente ocurre eso con el prefer. Aquí te estoy diciendo que el rather than, si está con infinitivo, tienes dos opciones. Ya, pero cuando trabajas con el prefer, solamente vas a tener una opción. Porque el prefer es una especial.
¿Y se puede decir prefer y rather than en una misma oración?
Dame un ejemplo.
I prefer soccer rather than basketball.
I prefer soccer rather than basketball. De que se puede, sí se puede. Pero yo diría I prefer soccer to basketball. Y el rather than lo dejo para verbos. ¿Se entiende?
Ok.
¿En qué momento usaría el rather than para eliminar verbos? Eliminaría la siguiente. Imagínate que entonces, yo prefiero jugar básquetbol a jugar fútbol. Diría, I prefer to play soccer rather than basketball. ¿Por qué? Porque se repite el doble verbo, que es I prefer to play soccer I prefer playing soccer rather than playing basketball. Elimino el playing porque es redundante. Y sería, I prefer playing soccer rather than basketball. Esa sería la opción en la que yo eliminaría el verbo allí, cuando son iguales.
Ok, perfecto.
At the beginning, we use rather with the verb. Es lo que te decía. Rather than pay the taxi, we walked. En lugar de pagar el taxi, nos fuimos. En lugar de dormir, nos pusimos a jugar. En lugar de comer, estábamos hablando. En lugar de decirle, te pusiste a conversar. Yo sé. Es la versión de aquí, es una versión un poquito más. Una versión que no uso yo. We use a verb less commonly, también lo puse, que es menos comúnmente usada. ¿Vale?
Okay.
El instead of suggest that one person thinks and actually replace another, I will have tea instead of coffee. ¿Ves? Me voy a pedir un té en lugar de un café. O sea, va a reemplazar el café por el té. Tú puedes ir en lugar de mí, o sea que esta persona me va a reemplazar a mí. Dice que los tickets costarán 5 euros en lugar del precio usual. Bueno, lo reemplaza. You see?
Okay.
Instead, I stay in bed all day instead of going to work. Y reemplaza las acciones, pero con el of. In as opposed to. El as opposed to es como te digo, mira, an approach that is theoretical as opposed to practical. Es un alcance que es teórico en lugar de práctico. Quiere decir que se enfoca simplemente en ¿qué? En la teoría. We ate in the restaurant as opposed to the bistro. O sea, que prefirieron comer en el restaurante, que solamente se enfocan en el restaurante, no comieron en el bistro. ¿Se entiende?
Se entiende.
Do you know what a bistro is?
I think it's the best restaurant in Peru.
Is a restaurant in Peru?
I don't know.
No, a bistro is a restaurant with this French theme, you know? It's a very small restaurant in the US. I'll show you some pictures. Look at this. Bistro. It's like diner. Have you heard the word diner?
Diner? No.
Diner is another restaurant. I'm sorry, I'll share the screen. Look at this. Cercanos a tu ubicación. Ahora no. Okay, bistro. Bistro is this. Bistro.
Oh.
And especially in how do we call this country? In France. En France. Es un pequeño restaurante que tiene temática francesa. ¿Ok? Y luego tenemos los diner. Que los diner tienen esta temática de película Stranger Things.
Okay.
Esos son diners. A diner. Well, Macs, I guess that Macs are McDonald's, but in Australia. Macs. No, Macs, Australia. Now, people, oh, look at this. I guess you see this Macs here?
Yeah.
Well, Macs. But then we have, for example, Tim Hortons. Have you heard about Tim Hortons?
No.
Tim Hortons, they're similar to Starbucks, but in Canada.
Tim Hortons.
They're Starbucks, but in Canada. You know, Canada is a big country.
Yeah. Wow.
You see?
Yes.
Well, there are what kind of places? I mean, similar to Starbucks or Tim Hortons or I don't know. What kind of places do you usually visit? You don't usually go to fast food restaurants?
No.
Or what kind of places do you?
The only restaurants, like, it's not a restaurant. It's like a place who sell food. One of my favorites is chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah,
For me, it sounds like a Mexican
yeah, it's kind of.
Chipotle restaurant.
But also there is another similar, but with Arabic food. The name is kaba, which is
Cava. Ah,
yeah, which is really really good, but it's
really good.
expensive.
Ah, I guess in Cava they sell something like which is shawarma.
No, 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 it's nothing about shawarma and those stuff.
Okay, no,
Like
I've never heard about this before.
Mediterranean food.
Ah, okay.
Google it. It's like kava, like V as a vaca. No,
Kava.
ka like house, kava.
Kava?
No, V. Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, that's it. Food like kava restaurant, kava.
Kava restaurant. Kava restaurant. Let me check it. This one. Well, it seems to me that this is a pretty Mediterranean. Ah, it is a change. This one, right?
Yeah, that one. That's correct.
Wow, fast casual Mediterranean food. Is that expensive? A low key restaurant or high key restaurant?
It's a higher key restaurant.
High key restaurant. How much is it the menu? I mean,
For
like for
example, the
teens.
difference if you go to get a Chipotle, it's like the Chipotle, the normal one, it's $10. But if you want to get a cava, the prices got higher as $10 extra or maybe 15.
Jesus, $15.
So you
Yeah.
pay for a lunch like 25 grams plus taxes, it'll be like 27. So
Okay, I see what you mean. Ah, okay, you attend to or you go to these places. I guess that they are healthier than
yeah,
fast food restaurants, right?
yeah, of course they have.
Chick-fil-A or Olive Garden. Are
Yes.
there any Olive Gardens in your city?
Um, yeah, but it's rarely. It has been, how can I say, cerrados, like shut.
Closed?
No, there's another word.
Banned?
No, there is another like a phrasal verb. I hear this phrasal verb before. Shutting.
Lockdown?
No, yeah, shutting down.
Ah, okay. Why? What was the problem?
Like with sanity food, the food wasn't.
Okay. Maybe the food maybe didn't pass the regulations, right?
Yeah, it didn't pass the regulation.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, no, no. So that is not okay. I used to go to Live Garden, Chick-fil-A, or there's another one, In and Out. I love it.
Yeah, I hear about it.
You also like it, In and Out?
No, here we don't have. It's just on the west side of the
On the west
country.
side. Yeah, but you are the person who is not really a huge fan of like fast food, right? You are.
Yeah, I am. I really like it, but it's really rare. I,
Okay, it's really rare and that great pronunciation, rare. People say rotely, it's rotely. I remember in the morning I took a class in the morning and my student said, it's really rotely. But rotely what? Give me the verb. You see?
okay.
Well, that will be all. Today, I'm really impressed by your speaking. I guess that you were practicing with another person. Is that correct?
No, it's not. I'm
No, but
just.
you realize that you speak even faster. You see?
I mean, I'm trying to get along with you, to trust you, to be more confident with you. That's why I
No,
feel.
yes, you feel more confident. Yes, sir. Now, when you speak, for example, I remember maybe 10 or 15 classes before this one, you used to say, could you just repeat what you said because I couldn't understand? But now you understood everything I said.
Yeah,
I guess that we have to change your classes now, and you need to keep you have to keep on practicing the difference between words like forget, leave, instead of, rather than, but in a real conversation. If you want to practice, I asked my student, and she is really she's into that, and she is willing to practice with you. I would like to know your schedule. So if you want to practice with her, she's like in the early 40s. Okay, she's kind of shy, but she would like to talk to you. Just let me know, right?
okay, right. That's great.
Okay, so we're going to stop here now, saying lesson, and that will be all. Bye bye, Dicker. See
Bye
you in
bye.
our next class. Have a
See
nice
you.
weekend.
Okay,
Bye
you
bye.
too. Bye bye.